What is up, my little pretties? It's your mistress, the Queen of Lions here, and today we are going to be doing another episode of Shadows and Pretties. Yep, this is episode 5, and today we're going to be talking about Disney's favorite sequel called The Lion King 2 Simba's Pride. Now, I'm sure most of us who grew up in the 90s and even the early 2000s have remembered watching this, on VHS, like I have, and for those who are seeing it on DVD and Blu-ray, that's amazing, like we are now. Today, I am going to be doing The Lion King 2 Simba's Pride. Now, I'm going to be I did a review about the movie, a while ago, and I have to say, it's a really good story. So I am going to be, basically talk about the movie just for you guys to refresh your memory for those who haven't seen the movie in a long time. And for those who haven't seen the movie, for those who have not seen it, I highly recommend you check out this movie as it's a really great sequel to The Lion King. I believe that, this sequel is actually one of the few best Disney sequels I've ever seen. Like, I know there's another one called The Little Mermaid 2 Return to the Sea. That one, I know some people didn't like it. But for me, I personally like that one. And he did like some Disney sequels. Some nowadays are okay. They're still good. Like, The Incredibles 2 was pretty good. But, Tarzan 2 was not that great, I'm going to be honest. But I will probably review that at least sometime. Maybe whenever I get a chance. But anyways, we're going to be diving into The Lion King 2, Simba's Pride. Now, and we'll be talking about certain characters that were in here. In this episode, in The Lion King 2, Simba's Pride, you do get to see new characters like Zira, you get to see Vitani, Nuka, and then you even get to see Kovu, which I will be getting to him soon. Now, let me explain what the movie is about for those who haven't, seen the movie in a long time. And for those who have not seen it, I highly recommend you go check it out. Now, obviously, this is a great movie especially in the 90s. And for those who want to take a look at it, you're more than welcome to look at it. Now, of course, this takes place, after The Lion King 2 Simba's, after The Lion King, the first Lion King movie. And we do get to see King and Queen of the Pride Lands, or Simba and Nala in this case, with their newborn daughter, Kiara. Of course, she is presented to the animals by Rafiki, who serves them as shaman and advisor. Now, of course, we do get to see Simba's father, Mufasa, from the heavens above. So, that's basically what you do see. Now, it's kind of, the beginning is similar to the first one, where, Simba was born to Mufasa and Sarabi, except, this takes events after, Simba comes back to the Pride Lands, wipes out Scar and stuff. So, of course, Kiara becomes annoyed with her father's overprotective parenting. You see this in the movie that Simba is now overprotective of his daughter, Dirty Kiara, and there is a good reason why for that in a bit. I will be getting to that. Now, Simba signs his two childhood friends, Timon and Pumbaa, a meerkat and a warthog, to follow her. Of course, eventually Kiara loses them and she goes into the Forbidden Outlands, where Kiara meets a young cub named Kovu. Now, Kovu is, quote-unquote, what Zira says that it's her son. But, of course, he is not Scar's child. Some people do believe it might be possible. But in my perspective, we don't know who Kovu's parents are. Well, although we know Zira is possible to be the mom. But we don't know who Kovu's actual father is, as he's the chosen one by Scar. So, that's kind of like a shadow thing in the shadows. Kovu, was in the shadows, and Simba, thought of him as, going to be growing up, become like Scar, take over the Pride Lands like Scar did when Mufasa, when Scar killed Mufasa. Of course, Kovu and Kiara escape using teamwork, and of course, when Kovu retaliates to Kiara playing, so Simba confronts the young cub just as he's confronted by Zira. So, of course, Zira is the Outsiders' leader, and Zira reminds Simba of how he exiled her and the other Outsiders, and she reveals that Kovu was to be the successor of Simba's uncle and enemy, Scar. So, basically, this was mentioned in the Lion Guard, that when Simba took the throne, Zira and everyone else was still loyal to Scar, so she basically, Simba basically, shoos them away for that. So, of course, Simba lectures Kiara about the danger posed by the Outsiders and then tells her that they are a part of each other. But however, in the Outlands, Zira reminds Kovu that Simba killed Scar and exiled everyone who respected him. So, Kovu explains that he does not think that it's bad to have Kiara as a friend. But then Zira decides that she can use Kovu's friendship with Kiara to seek revenge on Simba. So, you could really tell that the songs in the movie, like He Lives in You, We Are One, and even My Lullaby has really good meanings. Now, the shadow part of My Lullaby, sing by Zira, it's kind of like similar to Be Prepared, when Scar sings it to the hyenas when he plots to kill Simba and Mufasa. That I could definitely see is that, Zira wants Kovu to, take over the Pride Lands and ends up and kills Simba. So that's basically what Zira is trying to do. But of course, several years later, Kiara is now a young adult and begins her first solo hunt. So, of course, Simba, yet again, being overprotective, uses Timon and Pumbaa, but in her secret to cause them to hunt away from the Pride Lands. As a part to Zira's plan, Kovu has two siblings, one named Nuka and Vitani. Now, Nuka wanted to be king, but obviously he was like the oldest and the strongest ones, but he is pretty much an idiot. Nuka, of its own self in The Lion King in Simba's Pride, was such an idiot. So it's probably a reason why Scar did not choose him to be king. And only chose Kovu, which, of course, didn't really make a lot of sense, but at the same time, it does. So, basically, Nuka and Vitani, they both trap Kiara in a fire, allowing Kovu to rescue her. So Simba is forced to accept Kovu in his place since he rescued Kiara. Though Simba, being the overprotective father, he acts like a jerk towards Kovu. So that was kind of, because I understand, Simba had problems with, the Pride Lands, like when Scar was ruling, but I have to say Simba was a bit of a jerk in the movie. I'm not trying to sound rude, but Simba was a jerk in the second movie. Not trying to sound rude, but he kind of was, and you'll see why. So, eventually, after Kovu rescues Kiara, later that night, Simba eventually has a nightmare attempting to save Mufasa from falling into the wildebeest stampede, but who's stopped by Scar, who morphs into Kovu and sends Simba to his death. So, of course, Simba is starting to see red flags of Kovu when Kovu doesn't want to be part of the Pride Lands. Ever since he started falling in love with Kiara, he does not want to, go with what Zira wants her to do. So, Kovu contemplates on attacking Simba, but he's interrupted with Kiara, and he eventually starts spending more time with her. So Kovu becomes conflicted between his mission and his feelings for Kiara, until Rafiki leads him to a jungle where he introduces them to Independi, which of course he meets Love and Shawai. So helping being the two lions fall in love that night, Simba allows Kovu to sleep inside the Pride Rock with the rest of the Pride after being encouraged by Nala to give Kovu a chance. So upon learning of Kovu's failure to kill Simba, Zira eventually sets a trap for them. So the next day, when Kovu once again tries to explain his mission to Kiara, but Simba takes him around the Pride Lands and tells him Scar's story. Now the Outsiders attack Simba, resulting in Nuka's death, and Simba to escape. So aftermath, eventually Zira, being the mean lioness she is, she of course scratches Kovu for his brother's death and causing him to turn on her. So Kovu returns to the Pride Rock to plead Simba for forgiveness. But of course Simba exiles Kovu, and of course Kiara makes Simba realize that he is acting irrationally and then flees to find Kovu. So basically what Kiara, told Simba that just because, he doesn't know Kovu and that Kovu is not one of the outsiders, he doesn't want to be part of what the outsiders want to do, he's acting like a jerk. So, I have to say, the way, Simba argued with his daughter Kiara over, Kovu being, exiled and stuff. Yeah, I have to say that is when Simba was a jerk. So Simba was a bit of a jerk in that movie. So the next song we see is when eventually Kiara falls in love, finds Kovu again, is the two lions find each other, process their love, realizing that they must unite the two prides. So, of course, we do see, that, and the song in there that Kiara and Kovu sing is love find a way, which, it's a really good song, to be honest. I really have to say it's quite, a little bit, it's different compared to the Can You Feel the Love Tonight from the Lion King movie. I know we talked about that in last episode, but yeah. Now, in the matter of hands, we're going to take a look and see that Kiara and Kovu return to the Pride Lands to convince them to stop fighting. That's when Zira and her pride, along with Simba and everyone else, were eventually attacking, attacking the Pride Lands. So basically there was a war, but of course, the outsiders end up turning back on Zira, and along with Vitani, as they realize what Kiara said is true. So Zira, however, attempts to try to kill Simba, but Kiara intervenes and Zira ends up dying by falling into the flooding river. With the enemy gone, of course, Simba accepts the outsiders back to the Pride Lands and appoints Kovu and Kiara as, the future king and queen. Now, in this story, you do see Vitani that, in this movie, that she ends up, being like one of the major, basically, you do see him, and of course you do know that. But however, later on in the movie, and of course The Lion King was actually a pretty good movie. Like, the first one was good, so then Disney decided to make a second movie, which to be honest, I really do feel that this movie actually did pretty good. Now, we eventually do get to see Kiara and Kovu, and we do eventually get to see them. Now, what do I think about the movie is that the Lion Guard, there's not really much to talk about it, but it's taking place around the Lion King to Simba's pride, be in the middle of it as well. So, that's kind of one of the reasons why Vitani is the leader of the Lion Guard. I think, I did hear rumors saying that they're going to make like a 4th season, but I really don't know if that's true, but comment down below and let me know, because someone did say. Now, the discussion of this movie possibly began a sequel of The Lion King before the first film ever hit theaters. In January of 1995, it was reported that The Lion King sequel was to be released in the next 12 months. However, it was basically delayed, and it was reported in May of 1996 that it would be released in early 1997, but by 1996, the producer, Janie Russell, and the director signed board to produce the direct of the sequel. So, of course, is that he reprised his role of Banzai in the film, but of course, the character was ultimately cut from the movie, and in December, Matthew was confirmed returning, named as Simba, while his wife, and of course, they do tend to be back as, certain people. Now, eventually, the voice of so the cub's name was basically renamed Kiara. It was named another person, but they chose that as they discovered it was a Power Ranger name. So apparently, Nutka, kind of like similar to Nutka's name, was renamed Kovu. Of course, Disney wants to, Kovu's relationship with Scar to be changed during the production, as Scar's son would make him Kiara's first cousin. Well, of course, it was once removed. So, of course, this whole movie, The Lion King to Simba's Pride, gradually became a variation of the Romeo and Juliet, the biggest love story we have. So, Of course, it's quite similar, so I might talk about that in the next episode or something like that. But of course, the movie was a really great success. So they released it to a direct-to-video release. They did not release it in theaters, which kind of sucks, because I wish they released it in the movie theater. It would have been awesome if they did that. But of course, the songs in this movie was just flat out amazing. It was just amazing. Like, the fact that the story actually went out well, and the songs in there was just flat out amazing. Now, of course, we do have, other stuff, like, of course, the Lion Guard, takes place around the same time of the Lion King too, but however, for all these characters just make an appearance and stuff like that goes on. So, yeah, it's kind of strange that you could see. Now, eventually, Kovu was fought by Simba to be, going to be growing up to be like Scar, how Scar, portrays, basically the Pride, and even Mufasa by killing him and taking over the Pride Lands. So Zero wants to take over the Pride Lands too, but it ends up not working because basically Kiara falls in love with Kovu, and if Kovu and Kiara never met, then it would have been a completely different story. Like, the whole story would have been changed, and yeah, that's basically what The Lion King does. Now, The Lion King 2 actually provides really good, it's a really good sequel for people who have seen the first Lion King movie. And if you guys seen the first Lion King movie, I highly recommend you check out the second movie. Like, for those who have not seen the sequel, I highly recommend you check it out. The songs right here are good, the voice acting was good, the storyline went out perfectly. Everything about it was just flat out amazing, and there's like a lot of time and effort into the story. So, I'm going to wrap up this review and make it quick. So, for those who have not seen The Lion King 2 Simba's Pride, I highly recommend you check out this story. Like, you check out the movie, it's on YouTube, like there's certain clips in that for those who haven't seen it. And for those who haven't seen it in years, I highly recommend you rewatch it. It's a good movie. Now, like I'm going to say, this is simply my own personal opinion on the movie. And if you disagree with me, that's fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions in regards to these movies. And this is simply my own personal thoughts. Now, anyways, people, what did you all think about this movie? Did you all enjoy it? Did you not? Also, what we have done personally to help make the movie a lot better. Just leave me now what your thoughts are down in the comment section down below. I'm the Queen of Lions. Thank you so much for tuning in to Shadows and Pretties podcast. The next episode of Shadows and Pretties, we will be talking about another movie, which I don't know what it will be yet, but I'm eventually going to pick what movie I want to watch, or at least what movie I want to do, per se, and then I will let you guys know. Now, what I would like to make, like, another episode is I kind of really would want to, do, like, this fifth episode. Well, of course, we obviously know it's The Lion King 2. But I want to make, like, the 6th episode something that I really want to do. Now, you guys could comment on whatever movie I should talk about, what game I want to talk about in my next podcast series. Leaving now what you want to see else in the comments below. I'm the Queen of Lions. Thank you so much for tuning into this podcast. Be sure you leave a like on the video, and if you are brand new here to this channel, like, comment, subscribe, because I make brand new videos every single day. Don't forget to ring the notification bell to my upload so you guys won't miss an upload. And like always, I'll be seeing you all in the next podcast or next video. Peace out. See you all later. Bye-bye.